Quick Takes with Ed Masterson.
So that was like a lot of that noise is some environmental noise that you're having to manipulate, if you will.
Yeah, so environmental noise, things that emit noise themselves, and then there's the noise that can occur. It's sympathetic noise, I guess, is appropriate. Where things in the room respond to that. A lot of people talk about having extra speakers in the room. If you have speakers in the room, the woofers will respond to that vibration. A speaker can actually act as a microphone. It can work backwards. So it's sitting there responding to the sound. So, a lot of people want their 2-channel systems in a room with no other speakers because the speakers affect it. Which is kind of fun. A lot of people will take and short the terminals together, which, you disconnect it from the amplifier and put it, short the plus and the minus, and that through EMF or through electromagnetics, it keeps it from being able to move as much. It makes the driver not respond as much. But and then people talk about electrical noise. We're talking about electrical noise. When you say that, the average person, what that means to them is a hum. Okay, a 60 hertz, typically a 60 hertz hum, and it's a ground loop problem where some of the current is returning, well, it has to, back to the panel, but instead of through your wires only, it's also going another path, and because of a difference you can hear, because of the timing difference, you can hear that noise. But ground loop noise, if you get everything plugged in on the right circuits and get rid of that, there's another noise. And that's the noise that every piece of electronics makes. Not that you necessarily can hear, not emitting. I mean, we talked about things that emit noise, not a fan noise or something, but within the circuitry, a power supply, creates a DC voltage, which is not perfect DC. It has noise in it. It's not exactly, if you looked at it closely, you would see some noise artifact, some variation in that signal in the background. But that noise eventually makes it into the electrical signal. Some noise comes in through your power lines. Let's say you've got power and you've got computers and high-speed switching power supplies plugged in around the building. Those devices are known to put noise, electrical noise, back on the main power that is shared throughout the building. And so that's why power conditioners and things like that can make a big difference in the systems, because it can isolate them and perhaps even remove a lot of that noise from the power before it comes in. And when you think about that, that's kind of like a water filter. If you run water through a modest water filter, it comes out a little bit cleaner. And you run it again, it comes out even cleaner. There's a limit to how fine a filtration. If at some point, it only gets so fine, but that's kind of how the power filtering process works. So that noise can get into your audio system and affect what you hear in the end. Then the electronics themselves, I'll get back to that, they themselves, just by their existence, are making some noises that can have the potential to contaminate. If you put a noisy device inside the certain size metal box, cage of sorts, it can have a problem from just hearing its own noise, because it's like sitting inside of a reflective thing that it could get overwhelmed by its own noise. It's like yelling and you hurt your own ears.
Because there's nowhere for that noise to dissipate.
It can't get out. So EMI design is you're trying to, most of that type of design is oriented at keeping the noise in the box so that it doesn't bother other boxes. Okay, like if you make a piece of electronics, our government has a requirement that that you take the box and test it to make sure that it doesn't just sit there and radiate a ton of noise that could potentially damage other equipment. And how do they know it could damage the other equipment or mess it up or keep it from operating properly? Well, their equipment also has to go through this testing. So your equipment is tested to make sure it doesn't put out noise and to make sure it's immune to noise, whether it's through radiation or through conducted through the wires, which they test for what you put out on the wires also, as well as what you radiate through the air.
Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you for watching.